Hey everyone, it's Patty from pspapercrafts. Thanks so much for joining me for another Friday video. Today we're not doing a fun fold. We're going to use masks, which are kind of like stencils. Stampin' Up! Calls them masks. And we're going to make this card, but with different colors. And to make this, I used the Layers of Beauty stamp set. So I stamped the floral image in Memento black ink. And then there's dies that will cut this big piece, and this is really a big piece. And these are the masks, and I'll give you some tips on how to use them. They're really beautiful because you can use one color and just go harder and harder on each layer, or you can use multiple colors. So for this card, I used Peach Pie and Calypso Coral. So the lighter shades, these are both Peach Pie, and then this dark is the Calypso Coral. And then I use Mossy Meadow on the leaves. And I just rubbed harder on the more intricate, what am I thinking of? Mask. So as you go through this, let me just tell you how this works. Your masks are going to have a little notch there, so you want to make sure that helps you line up, and I'll show you how to do that. And then I don't know if you can see it, but there's a number 1, number 2. It's hard to see them. I don't know if they'll show up on camera, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so 1, I used lighter colors. It's more of the background. And then as you go, you're going to increase in your dark, either rub harder or use a darker color. And you can also use different colors for these flowers. I use the same colors, but you can use a different color for those as well. You just have to see where they are and just do those in different colors. We're going to do the same color all the way through, but that is an option you can do. So, and then to wash these, you can either wipe them with your whatever you clean your stamps with, or I just run them under water. I just hold it in the sink and let it run under water, but then they have to dry. You could dry them. I leave them overnight. Or you can, use your chamois if you're going to use them again with a different color and just rub them. It's all the ink and it's water-based, so it's very easy. So I wanted to show you another card. We're not going to do that today, but I wanted to show you just another idea. So I had made this card a while back. Isn't that pretty? And I used the Thankful Garden. I did not stamp this. I just used the masks, and it's the same thing. You line them up. You use the notch, and the notch isn't exact. It just gives you an idea that you're not doing it upside down. So this is number 5, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3. So you start out kind of with the open background, and there's the 2 flowers here, and then you've got a little bit more design to it, and then a little bit more. So I just used the same colors. I think I used Night of Navy on this, and is this Melon Mambo? I think it's Melon Mambo. But I will have the colors in the project sheet, so you'll know exactly what I used. So let's get started. First of all, this is a huge stamp that we're using. It doesn't fit on the blocks. So if you have a stamp positioning tool, I have the Misty. If you have a Stamparatus, or you just have a large block, you're going to use that because it just doesn't really fit. This is the largest block I have, and it just doesn't fit on it, okay? And it is a photopolymer, so if you use one of these, you have to make sure you have the foam pad in here. So the one thing I wanted to just tell you, when you're laying down your stamp, this is how it's going to be. We're going to close this, and it'll pick up. Just get your, just make sure that you have it like positioned okay. And I kind of use these little flowers here to eyeball it, just to help you get started with how it should go. So this is how it's going to be. So I'm going to just turn it this way a little bit so this is upright. Okay, I mean, it's not that important, but it just made it easier for me. So I'm going to just close this down and pick it up. I know I'm doing this backwards, but the first time I did it, I think I had the stamp a whole different way. And then when I went to use these, it was kind of crooked. I mean, it really doesn't matter, but just let's see how this is going to look. And the white paper that I have is 1/4 of a sheet of, so it's, because it's big, it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm just going to put this down like this, make sure it's all in the right place. And I know most people put the paper down first, and I usually do that. But for this, I wanted to just be sure that I had this stamp in a good position. And maybe you won't struggle with that, but I did. So I like to share my struggles with you. So now we're just going to press this down. I have the magnet in place to keep it, and sometimes it's a little sticky before you have ink on it. And let me get my black Memento ink. And we are just going to ink this up. And the beauty of this is if you don't have a good coverage the first time, you can ink it right up. That's the whole kind of purpose of the stamping, the MISTI or the stamp positioning tool that you have. So let's see, it did shift a little bit. Once you have the ink on it, it doesn't stick so much. Okay. All right. All right, I'm going to do that a little bit darker. So this allows you to just stamp over and over again, just to get a really good, solid image. All right. So we're going to use a lot of tools in this project. We're going to use our blending brushes. Okay, perfect. So let's put this aside and keep going. All right, so now we have this, and we are going to use our masks like this. So you just want to kind of line it up, but let's do taping down first. Okay, so I am going to use masking tape to just tape this down. You could use Post-it tape, Post-it note, whatever you want, just so that this doesn't shift. I have a hard time tearing. So we're just going to put this down and put this down. And now our paper is good. And you want to do this on some kind of scrap paper. And then we're going to line this up, and you can see how it goes around. And you just want to get everything lined up. I'm looking at all of the flowers. I'm looking at the leaves. I'm looking at these flowers, okay? So now it's lined up, and see how it's crooked? Sometimes it will be really crooked, depending on how your flower was stamped. And then, oh, why do I have such a hard time tearing? Everybody else tears so nice and neat. Okay, so then I'm going to put this down up here. So now our mask won't move around, okay? It won't shift. And then we're going to get our ink. So I'm using Melon Mambo, Garden Green, and Pretty in Pink. So I'm going to start with my lighter color. Okay, and I am going to make a little notch here so I know, and again, this won't line up perfectly, but I know where my starting point is when I lay down my next mask. So this is mask number 1, and I'm going to get my my ink, my blending brush, and I'm just going to just get a little bit of ink off of it because I want it to be very light. And when you first blend, the first ink is kind of blotchy, so you just run it around a little bit. You want to get all these little buds and leaves, And again, if you wanted to do this in 2 different colors, you could do these little flowers in a different color. So that's our first mask, and it's just ta-da, right? Every time you do that, you're going to be like, wow, look at that. So we're going to just pull this up, take this off, and move on to mask number 2. And I'm going to use the same color here. So I'm going to start out kind of lining this up with the notch up here. And then I'm going to move it till I see everything is in place. It's going to be, you know, it's not perfect with this notch, but it gives you a really, like I said, a good starting point. So just make sure everything looks good. We'll put this down. Now I'm going to use the same ink, but I'm going to go a little bit harder and darker. So you get a little messy, but it's fun. And it's so pretty to see the results. Make sure you get all these little areas. And you could always take a peek, lift this up. Wow, look at that. Gorgeous, right? So we're going to take this off. This is mask number 2. Let's try mask number 3. Okay, the 3 is up there. We're going to start out here. And then it is a little bit weird to line up. Oh, you know what? I'm going to line up these, see these holes here? These go in here. That's the key to this one, which is very different. That's kind of funny than this, right? Seems off a little bit. But I know the holes are supposed to be where it is. I'm just trying to see if I can put it up there a little bit more. I guess that's it. Because there's holes down here. So just, you know, work it and look all around and see if it lines up to how you think it should be. Now I'm going to change my color. And we're going to do Melon Mambo. And hopefully this will be good. I'm going to use the same one. I kind of have these with just pinks and greens and oranges, you know, whatever. So, and I would start with the darker color or the lighter color first. So let's do this. Wow. And this is really fun, I have to say. All right, let's take a peek. Wow, pretty. Pretty, pretty. I love it. So now we're going to do leaves. We're done with all the flowers, and you know, you could do different colors, just reminding you. So now we're going to go with number 4. We're going to start it up here and then just move it around. Get all the leaves. And you'll see as you move it that it's going around in the right places. Just look everywhere and just line it up. Okay, that looks good to me. So now I'm going to do garden green. I'm going to switch my blending brush to my garden green. I'm just going to do the same thing. Now this is the lighter version, the lighter look. So I'm not going to put too much. I'm not going to press too hard. Just go all around, get every little area. Let's see how it looks. It's so pretty. It's amazing when you lift it up how pretty it is. And I love that the stamp matches, and then you can die cut. So let's get this. This is the last one, so this is number 5. All right, does that look good? Oops, did I move it? I shifted it. I think that's good. I think I shifted it again. All right. Looking everywhere. All right, now we're going to use the same green and we're just going to press a little bit harder. Let's see, it looks very dark. Wow. Gorgeous. All right, so we're done with the masks. And as I said, I'm just going to run them underwater, and, you know, it's even fun to watch the ink pour off. It's all about fun today, right? So now we want to take this up. And then we're going to die cut this. I mean, you could just put this on a card base and call it a day. Stamp a sentiment. You don't even have to die cut it if you didn't have the dies. So let me see, where are the dies? They're over here. Let's get our machine out. Put these aside. And put this down. Get this die. And then this will fit right around it, snug as a bug. All right, you just want to, and I am going to put some masking tape or post-it tape or something down just to make sure this doesn't shift after all of this work. We don't want to ruin it. Okay, I'm going to put 2 pieces down. All right, let's get our top plate. And just, I like to hang it over a little bit so the sandwich isn't too thick when it goes through. I love certain things like the masks, and also embossing with embossing powder. It's always like right in front of you. Ta-da! So fun. All right, so let's see how this came out. And, you know, you can use anything, you know, as I said, the masking tape, post-it notes, post-it tape, whatever's not too sticky, because you want to make sure you don't tear your project, that it's removable. Okay. And look at how beautiful that is. You could even add some Lincastella if you wanted to it. All right, let's put that aside. So let's get the card together. I'm using the same as I did on this. I used a basic white, or thick basic white card base. So I have that over here. So that's our A2 size, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I took a piece of this, this is on Last Chance. This is the marbled elegance, and it is melon mambo in here, so I figured I would use that. So let's put that down. Oh, am I almost out of this? There's a lot. So they just updated the Last Chance, if you're watching this live, not live, but when I made it, they just updated the Last Chance list. So there's some really good bargains out there. I mean, it's amazing. So they're doing that more often now, because now with our online exclusives, things, you know, they want to keep current and new and all of that. So they're always adding new products with the online exclusives, and then they're also retiring. You know, they're not there for a full year like the catalog. So I'm going to make this another anniversary card, because I think this is really a pretty anniversary card. Happy anniversary. Grateful for you would be nice. You'll make my heart smile. And they're all really nice. God bless. So I'm just going to do, and I think I'll do the Melon Mambo. I did the green here, but I'm going to do the Melon Mambo. And I have it. So I'm going to do this before I put anything down. And it really has to be in this bottom corner. And this is 3 3/4 by 5, just so that this background pops out a little bit behind it. So, and I found that this happy anniversary, I was trying to figure out how to make it straight. So I'm really looking at the anniversary part. And I'm doing it right at this bottom corner because we need room for that big flower. Okay, and then we're going to put this down with dimensionals, and this is just going to, oh no, this is this, that's the inside. Okay, I'm confusing myself. So let's put this down. I'm going to put this down first so that I'm not going over bumpy dimensionals. Okay, so this will go right here, kind of leave a even border all around. Okay, and then we'll put dimensionals. And I did put quite a bit of dimensionals down because I wanted, there's a lot of little areas I want to make sure is covered. So what do you think? Leave me a comment and let me know if you've ever tried the masks or stencils. And if you haven't, if you wanted to give it a try. They're really beautiful. I think they make a, because of all the shading, you know, I'm not good at coloring and shading and blending and all the things people do. I just color. So this gives me a way to do that easily. I mean, some people are amazing. They know how to make the light show like there's casting shadows or whatever. Not me. I'm just a colorer, just like we did when we were kids. Look at that. Is that gorgeous or what? Now we'll put some, I was trying to figure out what color, and I came up with the Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. So I'm going to pull out the pink, the Pretty in Pink. I always look online. I hardly ever even refer to the catalog anymore. I look online, and what I'll do is I'll just type in search Melon Mambo, and it'll show me the papers that have Melon Mambo, if there's a ribbon, you know, those kinds of things. So that's where I do my, you know, finding what goes with what. It just makes it a little easier for me. I'll just do these 3, just like I did on this card. I'm making it just like the other card. And then on the inside of this, I was trying to figure out whether I should do another mask, and I decided just to do these small flowers. So let me get those out. I don't think I have them mounted. And I just colored them with the blends. So let's get this mounted and stamped. And you could even just leave them in black or just stamp them in a color. So whatever you want. So we're just going to do this. And then we'll do the top. Oh, that didn't work out. Luckily, we have another side. That's the good thing about not putting it down until you finish it. So if you have a stamping issue, you're okay. Okay, so I'm going to use light and dark Melon Mambo. So this is the light, and I'm just going to color it in real quick. And I don't have Garden Green. I don't think we have Garden Green blends. I'm not sure why we don't have every color, but unless I just don't have it. So I'm going, you know, it's small areas, so I'm just going to use a Stampin' Right marker. But you can use any green. I don't think it really even matters. You're on the inside of the card. Nobody's going to compare it. So we just do this. Very easy. And then I'll do the dark Melon Mambo for the centers. Did I do it backwards? I did. So this is the light melon mambo. Oh well. Probably could have done the pretty in pink instead, but that's okay. So let's do, that's too small. Let's just do this. I don't really like to color with these too much. Once they came out with the blends, I just love the blends, but if you're doing small areas, this is perfect. Okay, and then we're done. I'm not going to put an inside sentiment. There's not one in the stamp set that really goes inside. I mean, you could use God bless, but I'm just going to leave it and figure out. I make cards at church, so I do birthdays and anniversaries, so I'm not really sure who I'll give this to, when I'll give it to them, but I think they'll love it. I just love the different shades. I mean, it's 3 different shades of pink on there. Okay, so there we go. 2 gorgeous anniversary cards, and it's the Layer of Beauty's decorative masks, and then this one is the Thankful Garden decorative masks. And I'll have, if you look below in the description, I have a bunch of links. I know sometimes it's hard to find them, I think on your phone, but if you scroll down, there'll be links. There'll be a project sheet, and it'll have all the supplies. It'll have the measurements, but there's not really a lot of measurements to this, but it'll have all the supplies I used and some, I'll give you some tips there. All right, I hope you try this. Let's see what's on the agenda for next week. I have my August calendar. So next week we're going to make a squeeze box fun fold card. So come back on the 15th already. Oh my goodness. And you can learn how to make that. If you're interested in my calendar, you can subscribe to my email list, and then you'll get it every month, as well as any, updates from Stampin' Up, card classes. I am doing a card class. I'll put a link down there as well. So these are the cards we'll be making with the card class. You'll make 2 of each. You'll get all the kits and everything. You just need ink, stamps, and adhesive. So if you're interested in making these cards, taking the card class, it's you have to sign up by August 10th. So we're getting close. Only a couple of days left, and there'll be a link below for that. All right, have a great week, and I will see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye.